Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Griffin.
Here.
Bishop. Conwell. Gray. Hairston. Harsh. House Jones. Jones. Casey. Kelly. Moorer. McCormack. Polensik. Santana. Slife. Spencer. Starr. You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Will everyone please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll make the following statement. This meeting of Cleveland City Council is a lawful meeting. Under Section 605.04 of Codified Ordinances, no person with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting shall do any act which obstructs or interferes with the due conduct of such meeting. Members of the public are invited to speak only under the rules set by this council. Disruptions, including but not limited to speaking out of turn and making loud noises and loud utterances, are in violation of the rules and interfere with the due conduct of this lawful meeting. Such disruptions may constitute a misdemeanor and a violation of Section 605.04. Anyone who disrupts this lawful meeting in violation of the codified ordinances commits misdemeanors and is subject to prosecution. The following is the first and only warning. If this meeting is disrupted, I will gavel a halt to the proceedings and direct the assembled officers to escort any person participating in this disruption out of the chamber. Once persons participating in this disruption are outside of the chambers, the officers will close the doors and the disruptors will be handled as directed by the Director of Public Safety. The council proceedings will not begin again until those that participated in the disruption have left the chamber and the chamber doors are closed. Disruptors will not be allowed back in the chamber after the meeting resumes. Again, this is the first and only warning. Madam Clerk, please dispense with the journal.
By Council Member Starr, that the reading of the minutes of the last meeting be dispensed with, the journal approved. Seconded by Council Member Spencer.
Thank you. We'll move to public comment, comment. Once again, can all the council members turn around to acknowledge the speakers? And once again, speakers, please acknowledge your time. Once you see the yellow light, that means to wrap it up. Once you see the red light, that means to abruptly stop. First person we have is Reverend Pamela Pinckney, and she's from Cleveland. She's here to talk about law and religion regarding women and children. She's representing Moms Lives Matter and being paid to comment by no one. Reverend Pinckney.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm a preacher. I like feedback. Good evening, everyone. That means I know everybody's fine. I don't come with purse or script, and I don't come with cliches this evening. I come with a message. The message is we need to change the message. The message is law and religion are not written for women and children. Now, I spoke with you a couple weeks ago, and I told you that this legislative body is the root of the law. Stand Your Ground didn't get passed across the country until it began in a smaller place. We need to not just put prayer back into schools in the name of Jesus Christ because it's still in our hearts, but we need to have some legislation, because the Constitution, when it was written by an all-white male establishment who was married to white females, and there were no people of color at the table. But also in religion and in politics, it is written only in the masculine form. And not only is it written in the masculine form, but it does not prepare us for situations such as housing, domestic violence, and other components that women are very powerful and children are very needful in these situations. I want this legislative body to take your pens, your computers, take your minds and come together and put laws in place for women and children, black, brown, multiracial, red, white, it does not matter, yellow. We need some laws. We're tired of being murdered in the name of law. We're tired of being murdered in the name of religion. We're tired of being discounted, delayed, and denied in the name of the law and religion. My name is Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts. I'm an apostolate doing something brand new. And my phone number is area code 216-302-9665. I welcome a discussion with you for suggestions, ideas, and let you know what I already do, because moms' lives matter. And we're tired of our babies, our husbands, and we're tired of being murdered by the law and religion. In the name of Jesus Christ, I greet you and have a blessed evening.
Next, we have Zoe Johnson. Zoe Johnson is from Ward 15. Zoe Johnson is here to talk about public safety for the trans community. And Zoe Johnson is here to talk about Trans Day of Visibility, not representing anyone, not being paid by anyone. Zoe, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council President Griffin. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak. Public comment is an incredible opportunity for genuine causes to be brought directly to the city's attention. My name is Zoe Johnson. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a transgender woman. I've recently purchased my first home in the Edgewater with my partner, Jules, who is also trans. For years now, our society has seen the normalization of opinions that can only be described as abhorrent. I'm sure everyone in this room has experienced the ill effects of this trend right here in Cleveland. I was horrified to learn about the racist hate mail and phone calls Councilwoman Santana has received at her home. I wanted to express my deepest sympathies to her and her family. Just last week, 20 truckloads of food destined for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank were withheld by the Trump administration. The denial of due process for people who hold green cards and student visas has left our communities rattled and has everyone wondering who will be next. Every day, there are new instances in which being a Democrat-run city or being part of a liberally-minded institution is enough reason to deny our inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because of this, every Clevelander faces the same threat from our state and federal governments. This is especially true and urgently felt by the trans community. With today being the International Transgender Day of Visibility, it was a perfect time to raise this concern with you. Members of Cleveland's trans community have many reasons to feel unsafe in our own city. 2018, Keisha Wells and Felicia Mitchell were murdered in Ohio City and Edgewater, respectively. 2019, Clara Legato died 1 month after being shot in Collinwood. 2020, Leah Rayshawn Day died in the Cuyahoga County Jail. 2021, Tierra Marie Lewis was murdered in Fairfax. Every one of these victims was a trans woman of color. Several of these women were initially reported by the Cleveland Police as a John Doe or a male who appears to be transgender and referred to them by their dead name and incorrect pronouns. The repetitive nature of these murders and the police routinely denying these victims their dignity is unacceptable and can no longer go unaddressed. The risk of being trans in America grows greater and greater with each passing day. While we could choose to accept the attacks from our superior governing bodies, I ask Council to see this as an opportunity to stand alongside Clevelanders. By adopting a sanctuary resolution for trans people, we can assert ourselves in the face of these bullies, that we will not allow them to subjugate anyone who steps foot in our historically forward-thinking and welcoming city. Trans sanctuaries have been declared by a dozen other cities in the country. In Ohio, they've been passed in Cincinnati, Cleveland Heights, and Athens. The city of Boston joined the list immediately following Mayor Michelle Wu's testimony during the congressional hearing for immigrant sanctuary cities just a few weeks ago. Declaring Cleveland a sanctuary would show the city's commitment to its existing legal protections for its citizens, our dedication to improve public safety for trans people, and that we will not comply with any efforts to oppress our neighbors. We need to make it known that an attack on one Clevelander is an attack on all of Cleveland. We need to be guardians for all. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my concerns, and I look forward to working together to make Cleveland a better place for everyone. Thank you.
Next, we have Fauzi Badour. Fauzi Badour is from Ward 11. He's here to talk about Community Gardens Coalition for a Better Life, and he's not being paid by anyone. Fauzi,
Mayor Bibb, Council President, Council, good evening. Mayor Bibb, with your permission, I'd like to start where I couldn't finish last week, that I'm asking you, on behalf of every gardener in Cleveland, to put a blanket of protection over the community gardens in Cleveland. Community gardens are great things to have in this city. See, the person or the pretender who calls himself developer and wants to take over the garden and West 47, and the people were here, 18 gardeners. That person called me on my cellular phone. He wants to buy my garden. And he said, like when I answered my phone, he says, "Hi, Fauzi, it's like we're friends." He said, I wonder if we could talk about buying your property at 9900 Goodell. I said, that's not a property, that's an orchard and a garden, and it's not for sale. He says, let's meet and I'll give you an offer. I don't want an offer. Those people go in a way that they want to steal gardens and they want to force through the city. Some people in the city, because the community garden owned by the city. While my garden is protected by me, private gardens are protected by the people who's taking care of it. Community garden owned by the city. Look, there was like 3-4 years ago when we had this statewide issue on the ballot, a lady, activist for the Democratic Party, she's known by at least three members of this council, was canvassing for that issue. And as she knocked on one door, a lady opened the door, she says, honey, don't knock on doors, people shoot here. So the lady walked back. She's walking, she saw my garden, and she just walked into the garden. When I saw her, I came, I talked to her. She said she thought the garden was safe haven for her. That's why she walked into the garden. Gardens are safe haven. There was a press conference in my garden attended by former county executive Ed Fitzgerald, former county prosecutor, the one before O'Malley, and 3 former members of this council, arranged by James Rukakis. Everybody here knows who James Rukakis is. And James Rukakis, when he called me to arrange that meeting, press conference at my garden.
Mr. Badur, time.
That fast?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next, you have Andre Daly. Andre Daly is from Collinwood. He's here to talk about the loss of $1 million worth of food for the Cleveland Food Bank. He's not representing anyone, not being paid by anyone. It's Andre Daly here. Andre Daly going once. Andre Daly going twice. I do not see Andre Daly. Next, we have Mr. James Lamb. James Lamb is from Ward 3. He's here to talk about the shape of our community. He is not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. Mr. Lamb.
Good evening, y'all. It's not shocking to me, but it's very discouraging to me, okay? Like I say, and many of you know, I walked these floors for 50 years. I've been through every mayor from Carl Stokes to Mayor Biggs. I done did this city. It's troubling me. I went through 3 wards last week, and I counted over 240 vacant lots. All of them trashed. I'm not going to say what wards I went through, but I'm going to get with the councilman, because the one thing we're going to do in this city, if we're going to use them dollars, they've been coming in here since COVID, that Mr. Jackson left behind, that Mayor Bill went out to Washington and got is himself. See, I see a lot of dollars going up on the west side. I see a whole lot of dollars going up on the west side, but I don't see no black businesses on the west side. You know what I see on the east side? I see auto mechanic stores, I see dollar stores, and Dollar Mart General Dollar, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, all within a mile. Where's my housing? Where is my housing? I cannot sit here today and tell any one of you that I would vote for you right now. I sing 4 years, and I sing within the last 20, I sing at least 5 people that's sitting here today that's been on council at least 20 years, and I ain't seen no product. I'm having problems with the product. My taxes paid for them, okay? My taxes paid for them. I went to work when I never had to, and my taxes helped pay for them. So I know what was out there. I had the books of the last 8, beside the last 4 years, I have every number on the books before Sharon Dumas left Cleveland, Ohio, so I can match up the dollars in the new budget hearing when budget comes.
Your time is up, Mr. Lamb.
Let's get some, okay, well, let's get something done.
Your time is up, Mr. Lamb. Thank you.
Let's get something done. I want to see my dollars speak for you. I don't want to see.
Next, we have Stacy Steggert. Stacy Steggert is from Ward 8. And Stacy Steggert is here to talk about the mayor should encourage CMSD not to reduce instructional time. And Stacy is not representing anyone, not being paid by anyone. Stacy, you have the floor.
Good evening. I am a Collinwood resident, and my wife and I have 3 children who attend CMSD schools. I have a PhD in education policy, and I've published research in peer-reviewed journals. I came here this evening to ask the members of this council and Mayor Bibb to urge the CEO of CMSD to maintain at least some of the school calendars that include extended school year and extended school day. I'm going to give you a definition. According to George Washington University, equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources or opportunities. Equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. On February 14th, 2024, the mayor's education chief sent an email urging Dr. Morgan and the school board to cut all schools to one calendar because taking a school-by-school approach could cause equity issues. The mayor's education chief also wanted to use the attendance data to defend this approach. Now, setting aside the tragically incorrect usage of the concept of equity, the district's own study has shown that not only do extended program schools have better attendance rates, but predictably, on all measures, students who have more instructional time perform better in school. The district is touting this as a cost-saving measure, but in a $1.9 billion budget, the savings gained by reducing instructional time would generate roughly $4 million in savings. That's 0.02% of the budget. That's $1 for every $500 spent. Our district is entirely too administratively top-heavy. We pay too much in rent at 1111 Superior, and we need to consolidate some buildings. So please urge the CEO and the school board to take every other cost-saving measure before making moves that are detrimental to our children's education. Our city stands to lose a lot with this move, including a significant portion of our young Black talent. The John Hay schools that continually turn in some of the highest performances in the district, including graduating students who attend Ivies every year, they're not going to be able to maintain that kind of programming and those kinds of results. The Davis Aeronautics School, did you know that kids are flying drones right now on a freighter and they can graduate with a pilot's license? That's not going to happen if they don't have an extended calendar. My sons are in 5th grade right now, and we would love for them to attend Davis, but part of the reason my daughter is in a non-public school right now is because of this calendar change. I welcome the opportunity to talk with anybody who wants to think about real solutions about this problem, because it seems to have fallen on deaf ears when I speak at the school board meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Terry Wong. Terry Wong is from Ward 3. She's here to talk about the Police Commission and Antoine Tolbert. She is not representing anyone, not being paid by anyone. Terry.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry Wong, former commissioner of the Cleveland Community Police Commission. On March 18th, I issued a taxpayer demand letter to Law Director Mark Griffin exposing the city's 2-year pattern of violating Charter Section 115. When Director Griffin finally responded, he claimed the city had, quote, fully complied with the law and had appointed, quote, outstanding commissioners. Let me dismantle that fiction. The charter explicitly states, quote, no police association representative may have a record of police misconduct, whether adjudicated or not. Yet last summer, after 18 months of secrecy, the city finally released Commissioner James Chura's disciplinary records. They prove his appointment was illegitimate. Even though he was the former commander overseeing the investigation of the 137 shot massacre and the killing of Tamir Rice, Commissioner Chura ignored Antoine Tolbert's plea for justice and stood by while I faced retaliation and intimidation for pursuing police accountability. And now there's Sheila Mason, a current commissioner that's been recently appointed. This is a disciplinary letter I hold that confirms she has violated Tri-C's public safety policies, resulting in retraining, a forced transfer, and a written warning, quote, one more infraction and you could be fired. She resigned from Tri-C within a year, only to be later hired by Woodmere Police, who are in the process of fulfilling my records request. So, Director Griffin and Mayor Bibb, these aren't outstanding appointments. They're blatant charter violations. Yet Chura and Mason refuse to step down. Why? Because those in power, like Council President Blaine Griffin, choose to protect them. Your silence speaks volumes. Your power matters more than a working commission, more than justice, more than the city you swore to serve. This is not just corruption, it is systemic, deliberate, and possibly a criminal conspiracy to dismantle civilian oversight. Across this nation, people are condemning authoritarianism, but here, Cleveland's leaders enable it by ignoring the charter, crushing the democratic will of the people, and silencing dissent. Here's how Cleveland can resist. Follow Mr. Tober at newera_Cleveland on Instagram to witness how the system punishes people who report police misconduct. Follow me at Commissioner_Terry Wong for updates on Charter 115 and how to fortify against police interference. Demand action. Call Blaine Griffin, Chris Harsh, Justin Bibb, and Mark Griffin. Tell them to remove Chura and Mesa in the lease and restart the commission selection process. Please amplify this story. Expose the betrayal of the people. Charter 115 belongs to all of us, and the people must unite to protect it. Thank you.
Next, we have Christopher Serio. Christopher Serio is from Edgewater, CMSD operating calendar and hours, and he's representing no one, not being paid by anyone.
Good evening and thank you. Actually, I want to thank all of you. Multiple times you have passed levies that has, as a CMSD teacher, worked in my favor. So thank you to all of you as the taxpayers. Primarily, I'm here to reiterate something that was already said. Mayor Bibb, House Bill 525 gives you the authority to appoint the head of Cleveland Public Schools. With that being said, House Bill 525 also created the Cleveland Transformation Alliance. Its goal was to grow a number of high-performing buildings while closing low ones, investing and phasing in educational reforms from pre-K to college and career readiness. And here's the one that's really interesting, shifting authority and resources to individual schools. From the North Star that was established by the Cleveland Transformation Alliance, they said that they want families to actively participate in continuously improving and evolving their schools to fit community needs. Cleveland students will have access to individualized opportunities to prepare them to participate in society and forge a meaningful path. Finally, CMSD students will have access to equitable education in schools that inspire joy and learning. What I find interesting is that standardization of our buildings is not going to do that. If you ask me to differentiate in my classroom, but then you won't do that for our buildings, is it that differentiation doesn't work? Or is it that it does work and you don't want to face the hard discussion that, as it's been seen, that's not really like cost-benefit analysis. We're now, what, a 3-star district? As someone who teaches at Garrett Morgan, we're a 3.5-star school. I have the joy of teaching 90-minute classes instead of the traditional 80. So I see the impact because my students Recently, for our IXL competition, my freshmen won again, and we have the double projected amount at 113. They're supposed to do about 60,000 a month. So that time does go to good use, that instructional time. So I think cutting it is going to severely damage the progress and the gains that we've already made. It's going to go against House Bill 525 as well as the North Star that was established by the Cleveland Transformation Alliance. So again, I would consider, why are you asking me to differentiate if you're not going to do that for our buildings? The whole purpose of that was to cater our buildings that are more to the neighborhoods. Max Hayes is very appropriate for the trades that it offers, and it caters linguistically to the neighborhood, just as Glenville, especially with the sports and whatnot. Having taught at both of those, I can say that each building is diametrically different and has very different needs. So to try and standardize it in the name of equity leaves a really bad taste in my mouth as a 9th grade English teacher. Thank you, that's all I have.
Next, we have Chris Malinowski from Ward 16, Jefferson, here to talk about CMSD closing of Newton D. Baker. He's not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. Once again, only one person is allowed to speak at the microphone. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we're addressing you, ladies and gentlemen of City Hall and Mayor Bibb, because you have an actual human constituency. We are also addressing the CMSD Board of Education, but you answer to the people. They answer to Mayor Bibb. And the people, the students and staff of Newton D. Baker were told about 2 weeks ago that our school was going to be unceremoniously closed at the end of this school year due to gross disrepair and just general when roofs go bad, they need replaced. If you own a home, your roof's going to go bad eventually, and it's going to be replaced. That's the way things work. But we were told it was impossible for the district, which is perpetually broke by design, to repair the building, and it was impossible to find a space for our 300-plus kids and our staff to continue to learn and teach together. What is possible? I've lived in this city for 50 years. I've seen things that I didn't think were possible. Jacobs Field was built in my adult life. A new Brown Stadium was built in 1999. The development of downtown, University Circle, gentrified areas of the near west side have been amazing. And I knew there were business when the Metro Parks came in. You can get on a walking or bike path right at Michael J. Zone, go to Ohio City, go to Tremont, go to Irish Bend. Is that what it's called? It's amazing. I went down there and I'm like, oh my God, look at all this money that they're dropping. Well, that's our money. That's the children's money. All development in this city is done on tax increment financing on the backs of the residents of this city. So what is possible? What are our children worth? I mean, we drop over $2 million a year to rent 2 floors at 1111 Superior when we basically gave away the Board of Education building on East 6th and Rockwell for like $4 million, maybe the most prime real estate in the city, to build a hotel for the RNC. Now we spend half of that yearly. But we can't get money to fix our roof. We keep this school together. This district is worried about data, but they need to worry about the causation. Why do children learn? Because they're comfortable, they feel loved.
Thank you, sir.
And there's community.
Thank you.
Implore this board to keep our school open, Mayor Bibb.
Last speaker is S.C. Williams from Ward 2, and S.C. Williams is here to talk about the Haslam suit against the city. S.C. is not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. And as the aisle clears, we'll wait for, if the young lady in the red can move over so S.C. can get out. Thank you. Ms. Williams, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, President Griffin, fellow council people. I'm here tonight because I'm gravely concerned about this money that the Haslams are asking for to build this new stadium. No public money should be used for the stadium. I mean, no city money, no county money, or money from the state. And I do have a question. Is the Haslam Group taking us to court to force us to pay $1.2 billion as well as their legal fees for this project? We all are aware that the Haslams used the Modell Law to purchase a team in Columbus, and now they're trying to interchange that law in favor of overturning the Cleveland position there. I have another question. If the Haslams are successful, where will the funds come from to demolish the present stadium, and what will be the cost? The Cleveland and the county residents are already supplementing Sherwin-Williams. We are committed to building a new jail in Garfield, and when the project was presented, the cost was $750 million. However, of March of this year, the cost has gone up to $9 million, and not one shovel has been put in the ground. You know, our property taxes were raised, like my property taxes went up 83%. And I'm just going to give you a quick example. I'll just say last year they were $1,000. This year is $1,830. So I mean, I'm just thinking this was done in order to supplement all of these projects that we're giving to the major corporations. And my question to you is, how long will the major corporations be allowed to bleed the poor city residents of all their money? Thank you for listening.
That concludes public comment. We'll now move towards communication. Madam Clerk, share communications.
File number 403, 2025, oath of office for Bryant Francis, Commissioner of Airports, Department of Port Control. File number 404, 2025, oath of office for Maya Kincaid, Member of Community Police Commission. File number 405, 2025, oath of office for Chandra Benito, Member of Community Police Commission. File number 406, 2025, oath of office for Tara N. Coleman, Member of Community Police Commission. File number 407, 2025, oath of office for Sheila Mason, Member of Community Police Commission. File number 408, 2025, oath of office for Untaya T. Miller, Member of Community Police Commission. File number 409, 2025, oath of office for Michael L. Nelson, Sr., Member of Community Police Commission. File number 410, 2025, oath of office for Sharina Zayed, Member of Community Police Commission. File number 411, 2025, oath of office for Callie Mersman, Director of City Planning Commission. File number 412, 2025, from Council President Blaine Griffin recommending approval of the appointment of several members to the Cleveland Urban Forestry Commission. File number 449, 2025, oath of office for Antoine Draft, Lieutenant, Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. File number 450, 2025, oath of office for Philip Fitzgerald, Lieutenant, Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. File number 451, 2025, oath of office for Thomas English, Captain, Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. File number 452, 2025, oath of office for Angel Guzman, Lieutenant, Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. File number 453, 2025, oath of office for Matthew Manzik, Lieutenant, Division of Fire. File number 454, 2025, oath of office for Patrick McCarthy, Lieutenant, Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. File number 455, 2025, oath of office for Robert Obleton, Lieutenant, Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. File number 456, 2025, oath of office for Adam Schultz, Lieutenant, Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. From the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, file number 413, 2025, transfer of license application at 3704 Superior Avenue, Ward 7. File number 414, 2025, new license application at 3456 West 117th Street, Ward 11. File number 415, 2025, new license application at 5107 Detroit Avenue, Ward 15. File number 416, 2025, transfer of ownership application at 3738 Newark Avenue, Ward 14.
Thank you. Are there any appointments?
Yes. File number 417, 2025, from Council President Blaine Griffin, pursuant to Chapter 163 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, recommending approval of the appointment of Tom Schreiber to the Cleveland Urban Forestry Commission as certified arborist with a term ending December 31st, 2027. Without objection, the appointment is approved. File number 418, 2025, from Council President Blaine Griffin, pursuant to Chapter 163 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, recommending approval of the appointment of Jennifer Chandler to the Cleveland Urban Forestry Commission, developer in the city, to a term ending December 31st, 2027. Without objection, the appointment is approved. File number 419, 2025, from Council President Blaine Griffin, pursuant to Chapter 163 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, recommending approval of the appointment of Laura Marks to the Cleveland Urban Forestry Commission, city resident, to a term ending December 31st, 2027. Without objection, the appointment is approved. File number 420, 2025, from Council President Blaine Griffin, pursuant to Chapter 163 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, recommending approval of the appointment of Beck Swab to the Cleveland Urban Forestry Commission, representative of a nonprofit organization with mission to preserve nature, to a term ending December 31st, 2027. Without objection, the appointment is approved. File number 421 from 421, 2025, from Council President Blaine Griffin, pursuant to Chapter 163 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, recommending approval of the appointment of Sarah Tilley, to Cleveland Urban Forestry Commission, representative of a nonprofit organization with mission to preserve nature, to an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2027. Without objection, the appointment is approved.
Thank you. Are there any condolence resolutions?
Resolutions of condolence by Councilmember Gray for Ruth Harris, by Councilmember Jones for Mother Joanne Clayton.
Are there any other condolences? Will all council members rise for a moment of silence? Councilman Kevin Conwell.
Yeah, you know what? This whole one for a mighty top bloodder, James Williams.
So noted.
One other person, if we could, Mr. Robert Thompson, Bob Thompson, if we could hold out a number for a former bailiff of Cleveland Municipal Court, Bob Thompson.
So noted.
Councilman Kerry McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but former Mayor Campbell's mother, Joan Campbell, passed away as well. So we can look up her and.
Thank you.
So noted.
And if we all could be a part of that, we'd appreciate it. If all of us could be a part of Councilman McCormick's condolence resolution.
So noted.
Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. Congratulatory resolutions.
Resolutions of congratulations by Councilmember Kelly for Julia Campbell, by Councilmembers Starr and Griffin for Cleveland Community Relations Board on their 80th anniversary. Resolutions of recognition by all council members for National Library Workers Day, by Councilmember House Jones for National Crime Victims' Rights Week, by Councilmember Jones for Gospel Divine Evangelic Ministries, by Councilmember Jones for Congresswoman Chantel M. Brown, by Councilmember Conwell for Raj Khadija Samad, by Councilmember Conwell for El Haj Amir Khalid Samad.
Thank you. We'll now go to presentations. And we have a couple presentations. I'm going to ask if Councilman Starr and Conwell can join me to the right. And I'm going to ask if the council members can open up the well for our guests that will be coming in. Mr. John Hay, we're going to do John Hay first, and I believe we have two. One will be for, I believe, the wrestling team, and then one for the cheerleaders, right? All right, so once they come up, we'll get them up here, okay? All around us, y'all can fill in all of this. Y'all can fill in all the way up here, fill up there, all of that, all of the above. All of the above. All of the above. And then who else? All the John Hay cheerleaders. All right. Okay, so.
When you get a chance, because there's a few minutes left. My son, he's 9 years old. He's with D. Baker. He wrote out a letter, and we didn't want to interrupt because we've never been here before. So we was wondering, would you find some time to listen to read his letter?
We got to try to set it up. But yeah, let me honor these babies right now if I could. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. If the council members can join us. So we know we bring up a lot of the track team and a lot of the other athletes that we have. And let me say this, Cleveland has a lot to be proud of. You know, we always talk about what these young people are not doing. And we always talk about what the young people in this city are not doing and what's wrong and everything else. But this is everything that's right about Cleveland. So Ms. Desiree Powell, the athletic director from CMSD, was so gracious to make sure that we bring down 2 female wrestlers that made it to the state this year. And here we go. Get both of them. Let's give them a round of applause. John Hay and John Adams. So Garrett Morgan and John Adams. So we have from Garrett Morgan and John Adams. Come introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, my name's Mr. Newton, record. Hi, my name's Kenai Mwehu. I'm from Garrett Morgan. I'm a senior, and this is like my 2nd season of wrestling. Basically like my first full year of wrestling, and I was able to make it to states, and I took 5th, so top 5 in the state. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Tamaya Wissett. I go to John Adams, and this is my 3rd year in wrestling. I'm in 11th grade, and this is my first time ever being at states. Last year, I didn't make it due to me being overweight for regionals, so this is my first year at states. And my first experience at states, I did not place, but next year I will be placing as state champion.
All right, we're going to give, here we go, we got both of them. We're going to give Tamaya. And then, come on, if we want to get a picture, if we could, with the mayor as well. The mayor would like to get in. We're going to do it right here. Councilman Conwell, Desiree, Ms. Powell.
Let's go Kadira. Let's sing Kadira and Bree.
All right. The next group that we want to honor, is from the John Hay Hornets in Ward 6 in the city of Cleveland. So let's give the cheerleaders, the state champion cheerleaders for John Hay High School, let's give them a round of applause. Desiree, Ms. Powell, you want to speak on behalf of them, and then, if we could, whoever is the representative, the captain, or whoever, or the coach or captain.
The only thing I wanted to say is this is the third year consecutively that a CMSD squad has won. Glenville won the first 2 years, and John Hay took the third year. So there's 3 years state champions for cheerleading.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Coach Asia. I have been coaching this John Hay cheer team for the last 10 years, and it's just truly an honor to be here and to be representative of these awesome cheerleaders. They have done a fantastic job this season. We have one more competition that we hope to secure the victory in on April 11th at CMSD, and we hope to see everyone there. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Layla Barrett. I am the captain of 3 years from John Hay, and I am a senior. And thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. Thank you.
So I'm especially proud because my 3 sons actually graduated from John Hay, and I appreciate all the parents talking about how important the John Hay experience was. I would tell you it's one of the top-notch educations that we have in this city. Catholic school, parochial school, any school. So I'm so proud of you guys, and thank you all so much for representing the city of Cleveland so well. Thank you. We're going to take a picture if we could, captains and all of us, and then if the mayor and his team could get right here so that we can make a little room. Excuse me. Leona Campbell. Dreamer Cantel. Cantel. Anne Marie Cullen. That is one that I got right. Kadira Gully. Gabrielle Orr. Thank you. Rashira Robinson. Rashira Robinson. Savannah Tate. Kenya Wallace. That's Miguel Douglas. Tania Hollis T. Isaiah Caleb. Julius Jackson. That's a name. Sierra Edwards. Caleb Cass. Gary Morgan, Caleb Cass. Connor Newton, Athletic Director. Anshawn Ivory. Anshawn Ivory is the principal here at working. Good man, good guy. Shapiro McDonald, John Adams. Demetrius Powell. Brian Evans. Let's give a round of applause. Got you. If we could, Councilman Kevin Conwell, if we could open up the well for Ms. Laura Cowan, and I believe she has a group of people that's here to support her. And then I do know that CEO for CMHA, who Ms. Cowan works for every day, is here as well. If he wants to join us, Mr. Jeffrey Patterson.
You know, Jeffrey can come on up here. Jeffrey, top letter. Ms. Cohen, Laura Cohen, matter of fact, I didn't know until my wife and I was watching you on TV on Lifetime. And I would see you all the time working in the community. Come on up, Ms. Cohen. I would see you working in the community all the time, giving back and helping people in the neighborhood. You are a true activist. And you will work in the neighborhood and you never asked for anything for yourself. So it touched me a great deal. That's why I met you some decades back, helping out with young males and young women in the neighborhood, pushing good character, honesty, credibility, and integrity. And then I see you on Lifetime. I'm like, Lord, but that girl looked just like you. She looked just like you. I don't know where you guys found her from. She looked just like you. Oh, Tyler Perry found her? Yeah, but you know what? This is Women's History Month. It's fitting, and you out there working. What's up, Mike Calhoun? Hey, Mike Calhoun from the Daz Band, one of my close friends, yeah. My buddy from the Daz Band. What's up, man? Let it whip, man, let it whip. Yeah, with the Grammy, let it whip, yeah. We did some things together. So anyway, where's the Mr. Mayor?
I think he left.
Oh, he left? Okay, yeah, the mayor wrote out. So on behalf, Laura, of Cleveland City Council and the 372,000 residents, the members of Cleveland City Council are proud to join and honor you, Laura Cowan, for your remarkable resilience, unwavering commitment to justice, and profound impact on the lives of others. We are delighted to welcome Laura to the city of Cleveland on Monday, the end of Women's History Month, which is really 365 days a year. You look at History Month. Yeah. During the Cleveland City Council meeting at Cleveland City Hall, Laura Cohen has shown extraordinary courage, resilience, and determination in the face of unimaginable hardship, emerging as a beacon of hope for other women's, other females, and for survivors of domestic violence everywhere. And whereas Laura's harrowing escape, you had to escape from a life of torment with a polygamous family where she and her 3 young enduring unspeakable abuse, her torture hearts across the globe, particularly through the Lifetime Network 2025 film, The Girl in the Garage, the Laura Cowan story. That's you, sister. All odds, Laura maintained an unwavering will to survive and documenting the daily horrors she faced with only scraps of paper in her lifeline, preserving evidence of her and her children suffering with the hope that one day justice would prevail. Yes. Whereas it was through a moment of unanticipated bravery, I saw that, you did a good job with that, when Laura was able to slip a desperate plea for help to a postal worker that her life and her lives of her children would forever change, leading to their rescue and the eventual capture of her captor who tortured you. Laura Tyler's advocacy for justice, her dedication to raising awareness about domestic violence, and her work in empowering other survivors to find their voice has transformed countless lives, providing the healing and hope are possible even in the darkness of times. Whereas Laura continues to travel the country, sharing her powerful story through keynote addresses, workshops, and panel discussion, inspiring others to fight for justice, spread awareness, and break the cycle of abuse, while also being featured on national platforms such as Lifetime, which I saw you, CNN, Tamara Hall, Anderson Cooper, TV One, and the People magazine further amplify your message of strength, survival, advocacy, and courage on this Women's Day of March 31st, 2025. Thank you very, very much for being strong. Yeah. So, you would like to say something? Council President, El Presidente.
Everybody knows Ms. Cowan. She's a great lady, and even though she went through some of the struggles and tragedies that she had to deal with, she's a great public servant. She works for CMHA and is always here as an activist in the community. So thank you for all you do.
Great activist in the community. You want to say that? Come on. You experienced that. Let your publicist say something. Okay.
This is an honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Blaine. Oh, my God. I cannot do this work by myself. And I want to thank, most important, Mr. Jeffrey K. Patterson, because when I came to CMHA, I was just working in IT, hardware and software. But I guess he saw something different. He had a vision, and it was for his residents. And he placed me in resident services as their liaison and a domestic violence advocate. And I've been there for 17 years doing the work. Thank you. So thank you so much for this honor. I brought my team with me, my daughter, my public, as the baby, my publicist, PR, Latasha, my date, Michael J. Calhoun from the Kismet Dance Band.
He got a Grammy. Yeah, my buddy.
Oh my God, my pastor here. Okay. Pastor Graham, Andrew Graham. Oh, thank you.
The other one is over there.
Okay. I have Loretta Gray and Miss Jones from
National Coalition of 100 Black Women. Greater Cleveland chapter. She's the president.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
And Billy Sharp, my hero, my idol, my everything. So thank you again for this opportunity. And one thing I do want to say, though, I never had a chance to meet my council person. I live on West Boulevard in Cleveland, the Cadell area, and I never met them before. Are they here?
Yep, you'll meet them today.
Okay, very good. We have to have a talk.
Could we, Council President, bring us Deborah Gray and Stephanie House And Jenny Spencer, this is Women History Month, so they can take a picture around you all.
Thank you.
Can
Yes,
you
sir.
guys come up?
Thank you.
Deborah Gray, Stephanie House, and Jenny.
And like I said, I can't do this work
I'm gonna move out the way.
by myself, but I do have a team. Brenda Glass from the Brenda Glass Multipurpose Trauma Center is here, and we do a lot of work with her residents at CMHA. And thank you, Brenda, for everything you've done. Thank you. Hi. Oh, I know your sister. Ken Hawkins is here also. He's another one of my true friends. His father was DJ from WJMO. So we do the work we do. Oh man, you look just like your sister. Don't you look Mr. Patterson?
Identical.
They're twins. So thank you again for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes. Oh, there she is. Oh.
Come get on the other side. You in the middle.
Oh.
Come in the middle.
Now watch that cord. Please watch that cord.
Come on.
If we could escort everybody out the well so that we can get back to the business of council. We got to make sure we have any conversations that anybody's willing to have out there. All right, Madam Clerk, first reading emergency ordinance is referred for administrative review, committee review.
Ordinance 422, 2025, by Council Members Conwell and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Finance to enter into an amendment to a contract with Diligent Canada, Inc. for audit management software as a service and audit management software and other services for the Department of Finance to extend the term of the contract for a period of 3 years. Ordinance 423, 2025, by Councilmember Gray, to add the name Jonah Moore Senior Way as a secondary and honorary name to Dickens Avenue between East 93rd Street and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Ordinance 424, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to exercise first option to renew a contract with Pinckney Enterprises, LLC, DBA Take a Break Quick Catering to provide for the operation of a first-class food and beverage service at the Carl B. Stokes Public Utilities Building. Ordinance 425, 2025, by Council Members Conwell and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Health to enter into contract with Ohio Department of Health to perform environmental lead investigations of residences of Medicaid eligible and non-Medicaid eligible children. children, and to enter into one or more contracts with various agencies, entities, or individuals to provide services necessary to implement this ordinance. Ordinance 426, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, determining the method of making the public improvement of maintaining and improving the interior and exterior of various buildings and sites, including but not limited to roofs and related buildings and site systems, authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more public improvement contracts and to construct the improvement, authorizing the Director to employ one or more professional consultants necessary to design the improvement, and authorizing the Director to apply for and accept any grants, including but not limited to grants from Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District for Community Cost Sharing Program funding for a period of 2 years. Ordinance 432, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of labor and materials needed to clean high-voltage insulators, bushings, lightning arrestors, transformers, and other associated equipment at various locations for the Division of Cleveland Public Power, Department of Public Utilities for a period or periods not to exceed 2 years. Ordinance 433, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of rigging services for the Division of Cleveland Public Power, Department of Public Utilities for a period or periods not to exceed 2 years. Ordinance 434, 2025, by Council Members Starr, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing Director of Economic Development to enter into a tax increment financing agreement with JSAACC LLC or its designee to assist with the financing of the African Town Plaza project to be located at 7515 Cedar Avenue, to provide for payments to the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, and to declare certain improvements to real property to be a public purpose. Ordinance 435, 2025, by Councilmember House Jones, to supplement the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, by amending Section 127.49 as amended by Ordinance 151, 2025, relating to the funding for certain items for the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls.
Thank you. First reading emergency ordinance is to be passed.
Ordinance 427, 2025, by Councilmember Conwell, authorizing Director of Department of Aging to enter into an agreement with Cleveland Music School Settlement for the Creative Aging Program through the use of Ward 9 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 428, 2025, by Councilmember Bishop, authorizing Director of Department of Aging to enter into agreement with New Point Community Development Corporation for the public purpose of providing the senior lawn care program through the use of Ward 2 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 429, 2025, by Councilmember Gray, authorizing Director of Department of Aging to enter into agreement with New Point Community Development Corporation for the public purpose of providing the senior lawn care program through the use of Ward 4 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 430, 2025, by Councilmember Jones, authorizing Director of Department of Aging to enter into agreement with Famicos Foundation for senior grass cutting program through the use of Ward 1 neighborhood equity funds.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Starr, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by Councilmember Spencer.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
Thank you. First reading emergency resolutions referred for administrative review and committee review.
Resolution 431, 2025, by Councilmember House Jones, recognizing April 2025 as Re-Entry Awareness Month. Resolution 436, 2025, by Council Members Casey and House Jones, adopting the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights to declare the City of Cleveland's commitment to providing access to parks and green spaces and a wide variety of quality outdoor opportunities for every Cleveland child.
First reading emergency resolutions to be adopted.
Resolution 437, 2025, by Councilmember Polensek, withdrawing objection to the renewal of a C1, C2, and D6 liquor permit at 15521 St. Clair Avenue, first floor and basement, and repealing Resolution 701, 2024, objecting to said renewal. Resolution 457, 2025, by Councilmembers Polensek, Griffin, Jones, Bishop, McCormack, Gray, Starr, House Jones, Conwell, Hairston, Kelly, Moore, Harsh, Santana, Spencer, Casey, Slife, opposing the United States Department of Agriculture's cuts and proposed state budget cuts to food assistance programs impacting the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, and urging the federal government and the Ohio legislature to restore those dollars in order to adequately fund critical nutrition programs for people and families in need.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Starr, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Spencer.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
Councilman Michael Polensek, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my honorable colleagues, members of the administration, and the audience that is here. I want to thank all my colleagues and you, Mr. President, for signing on to this resolution to object as much as we can to the proposed cutbacks to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. We know what a wonderful organization this is. We know the work that they've done. They have supported over 1,000 different groups and organizations, nonprofits, providing food to those in need. We know that last year they served more people than ever before in the Greater Cleveland area. We know the importance of this facility, not only the food distribution warehouse that they've created on Coit Road, but the resource center that they also put together on South Waterloo Road. I want to thank the mayor, the administration, for going on record as opposed to these cuts as well. When you cut food for needy seniors and working families and poor families, what message do you send? What message do you send? You don't care about these people. You don't care about these people. Well, City Council does, the administration does, and Mr. Chairman, I want to thank all my colleagues for signing on. There's also a possible letter that's going to be circulated that we're all going to be asked to sign to direct to our federal officials as well. We need to appeal to Senator John Husted, Senator Bernie Moreno, other members on the federal government, that this kind of craziness that we're witnessing and we're seeing is doing of no benefit to the city of Cleveland and people of Greater Cleveland. So again, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and my colleagues for signing on board for this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for putting this together, Mike. Madam Clerk, call the roll on adoption.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
All right, thank you. Second reading, emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 1062, 2024, by Council Members House Jones, Bishop, Griffin, and McCormack. An emergency ordinance authorizing Director of Public Works to accept a donation of 3 single-unit public restroom structures from Campus District, a community development corporation, for general public use to be installed by the Department of Public Works. Ordinance 21, 2025, as amended by Council Members Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing Director of Public Works to employ one or more professional consultants to provide education and training for employees, and to enter into contract with the Solid Waste Association of North America for a period of 1 year with a 1-year option to renew, exercisable by the Director of Public Works. Ordinance 40, 2025, as amended by Council Members Starr, Bishop, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Directors of Public Works and Economic Development to enter into a ground lease with Rust Belt Riders Composting, LLC, for the use and occupancy of property located at 3270 East 79th Street to consolidate its composting facility operations and to install a retail operation at that location for a period of 10 years with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Public Works and Economic Development. Ordinance 227, 2025, by Councilmember Griffin, authorizing the Clerk of Council to enter into an amendment to the agreement with JS Strategies, LLC, for the professional services necessary to continue the audit, review, and assessment of Cleveland City Council's communications programs. Ordinance 231, 2025, as amended by Councilmembers Starr, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Community Development to transfer several permanent parcels located in the vicinity of East 75th Street and Grand Avenue, and to control, possession, and use of the Department of Economic Development for inclusion into a consolidated site to be used for future redevelopment. Ordinance 244, 2025, by Councilmembers Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Finance to enter into an amendment to a contract with Murtis Taylor Human Services System to provide social services. Ordinance 251, 2025, by Councilmembers McCormack, Bishop, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of the Mayor's Office of Capital Projects to sell city-owned air rights interests no longer needed for the city's public use, located at the right-of-way of Scranton Road and AKA Eagle Avenue, to GPP Medical Facility for the purpose of constructing a building and enter into an agreement for the construction, operation, maintenance, inspection, and repair of the overhead structure within the air rights parcel above Scranton Road right-of-way. Ordinance 323, 2025, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, to amend Section 143.06 of the codified ordinances relating to applications for and acceptance of fellowship and intern grants and other funding and services from any public or private entity to add apprenticeship grants.
Second reading emergency ordinances to be passed. Is that it?
That was it. Yeah.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember, excuse me, by Councilmember Starr, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by Councilmember Spencer.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
Councilwoman House Jones.
Please mark me as a no on 10/62/2024.
So noted.
Call the roll.
Did I call? Oh. Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. On 10/62/2024, 13 yeas, 1 nay. On all others, 14 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. Call the roll on passage.
That was
it.
all of it, right? Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Second reading emergency resolutions to be adopted.
Resolution 298, 2025, by Council Members Starr, Bishop, and Hairston by departmental request, declaring the intent to vacate a portion of East 70th Street. Resolution 299, 2025, by council members Starr, Bishop, and Hairston by departmental request, declaring the intent to vacate a portion of East 71st Place. Resolution 300, 2025, by council members Starr, Bishop, and Hairston by departmental request, declaring the intent to vacate a portion of East 73rd Street. Resolution 301, 2025, by council members McCormack, Bishop, and Hairston by departmental request, declaring the intent to vacate a portion of Hancock Avenue.
Thank you. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By council member Starr, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by council member Spencer.
Councilwoman House Jones, did you have a point of order?
I'm sorry, and please mark me a no for 227, 2025. Appreciate that, too.
So noted. 227.
Do you have it? Councilwoman Jenny Spencer, did you have a statement too? Okay. All right. Councilwoman House Jones is a note on 227, 2025. Okay. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By councilmember Starr, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by councilmember Spencer.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas.
Call the roll on adoption.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 14 yeas. No nays.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is that it?
Okay. Yes, that is it.
All right, thank you. We'll move to introductions. Do we have any introductions? Any introductions? Councilman Kerry McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if she left. Judge Monet Scott's here with us today. I didn't know if she had left, but
She's there. She's right there.
Welcome her.
If she could please stand. Thank you. Judge has been doing a great job, especially with some of the things that we need in our district. I know me and Councilwoman Gray work closely, and she's been doing an outstanding job in the Shaker Square area. Thank you so much, Judge. Appreciate all your work. Any other introductions? Any other introductions? Seeing no other introductions, are there any announcements? Any announcements? Any announcements? I will make a quick announcement, and I'm going to ask him if he could stand up. I have the honor and privilege of now calling Detective George Redding, Brother George Redding of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, if he could please stand. Thank you so much. We'll now move to miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Councilman Anthony Hairston and then Councilwoman Jenny Spencer.
Thank you. Mr. President, I'll be brief, but thank you, Councilman McCormack, for recognizing our fantastic housing court judge, Judge W. Monet Scott. As many of you know, or many of you may not know, that on April 2nd, this upcoming Wednesday, will be the court's 45th anniversary. 45 years the court has been in operation. And there has been 5 judges for the through the last 45 years, and Judge W. Monet Scott happens to be the only woman judge to hold that seat in the court's 45-year history here in the city of Cleveland. The court started with Clarence Gaines, William Corrigan, Judge Ray Pianca, Judge Ronald Leary, and then Judge W. Monet Scott. You know, back in 2020, our world was hit with a pandemic, and it required not only this body, not only other bodies across the state of Ohio and across the world to, figure out better ways to serve the people to come before them. And one of the things that the housing court did was make the court virtual. And the court is still virtual today as I stand here and speak with you. And so, we appreciate Judge Scott's leadership. She helped roll out different initiatives with the court by bringing court to the library, bringing it right to your neighborhood. You know, what better way to be able to provide access in the ability to, you know, take your responsibility, and that is right in your own neighborhood. And so we thank the judge for her work. She has implemented right to counsel that this council has passed with our previous leadership here. It is continuing to this day. She is working closely with the Legal Aid Society. And I can go on about the many things that our fantastic housing court judge has done here in the city of Cleveland. Listen, she is making sure that the laws that this body has passed and that the mayor has implemented and the executive orders that he's implemented are being adhered to. You know, people don't like it, but hey, it is what it is, as one of the greatest mayors of this city used to say. It is what it is. Listen, she is doing what she needs to do on behalf of all residents here in the city of Cleveland. So we just thank the court. We thank the judge, Judge W1A Scott, for her work and all the great things that she's doing over at the Cleveland Housing Court. And so you know, on Wednesday, April 2nd, the Terminal Tower will be lit up with the Housing Court's colors. It will be lit up with the colors of blue, white, and gold. And also, stay tuned. I'm sure the court is going to have many more events to celebrate the court's 45 years in operation. Thank you.
Councilwoman Jenny Spencer.
Thank you, Council President. I want to take a few minutes to share a story about my experience last week. I was not on the council floor because my husband and I were taking our 16-year-old niece to Washington, D.C. for a few days for her spring break. And I think for a lot of young people in our country, that feels like a rite of passage, right? Getting to go to our nation's capital. And as I stood next to the absolutely stunning and beautiful Museum of African American History and Culture, and awed and marveled at what that meant, little could I have known that just 2 days later, President Trump would issue an executive order demanding that the Smithsonian rewrite U.S. history. Okay. So we all know that this news is coming fast and furious. It is truly overwhelming. We heard from our colleague, Councilman Polensek, about what's happened with our food bank and food banks across the nation. These are just two examples in an ever-ending stream of bad news. And this is not normal. I rise tonight to take this time to say, this is not normal. This is what it looks like when tyranny moves closer. So, also on my trip to DC, I had a chance to read a very short book by historian Timothy Snyder called On Tyranny. Dr. Snyder is a professor, I believe, at Yale, and he wrote it in 2017 in the early days of the first Trump administration. And it has 20 points, 20 short chapters on tyranny. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that if those listening tonight have not heard of Dr. Snyder or have not heard of On Tyranny or read On Tyranny, every American needs to read this book or listen to one of Dr. Snyder's speeches so we can recognize and understand the warning signs of what is going on. Tonight there was a beautiful public comment from one of my constituents who I haven't met who spoke about today being Trans Day of Visibility. We must all continue to be loud and proud in every way we know how right now. What Dr. Snyder said is that if we are not loud now, and if we don't protest now, it will be incredibly difficult to protest later. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Stephanie House-Jones.
Yes, thank you. There's a whole bunch. Let me do it. First and foremost, I just want to give a especially a huge thank you
to Ibukun and Cleveland City Council. She did an absolutely amazing job in supporting the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls, who did a meetup this past Saturday at Gary Morgan School of Leadership and Innovation. We really couldn't have done it without her, so I really think that we all need to give her a round of applause, along with the PIO team, the Prevention, Intervention, and Opportunity team, with Eugenia Cash and just a team there. They came out, they had no less, I think, than 17 members that came out to support. And again, that's what partnership looks like. So Director, Chief, thank you so much for the support there. And again, we took some videos, but there were over 100 people that showed up. We had the youngest at 8 years old over to someone that was in their 80s. And so again, when you look at intergenerational partnership, that's something that you would like to expect and hold on to. Also, as we go into April, which is the National Second Chance Month, there's a lot of programming that will be done for those talking about second chances. Wanted to highlight when you have a federal government that is in partnership with you, Impact Cleveland was awarded a grant through the old Department of Office of Justice Programs, and they will be putting on for Crime Victims Awareness Week a resource fair on April 10th. It will be at the East Cleveland Library, but it's open to everyone in Cuyahoga County. It's 20 organizations that are coming together to, it's called Project Yana, You Are Not Alone. And I had the benefit to experience their programming it was sometime last year. And, I went there just to support, but to sit down and go through some activities that actually get you to sit down and think about. Many of us are victims of crime who've had loved ones that have tragically lost their lives, which makes you a victim, and sometimes you suppress those things, but going through an experience with others to really start facilitating to call out your loved ones' names and to really be in partnership and fellowship with those who have like-minded experiences. I really wanted to lift up the work that they are doing, because it is so many of our people need to be in company and be supported by people in a loving and nurturing way, which many times as the world moves on, those wounds stay on. They stay with you forever, and sometimes we don't have good, healthy ways to just do the healing. And so I really wanted to, for this week that's coming up, for the investment that has been made to an organization and organizations in our community to lift up the work that they're doing, because I think it's really important. So just wanted to share that with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kerry McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also rise. I wanted to take a little off of what Councilwoman Spencer noted too, Mr. Chair, on today's day of trans visibility here, as one of the two proud elected members of this body who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community. I wanted to recognize Zoe. I think I got Zoe's name right? Zoe, right name? Okay. I wanted to recognize Zoe for her courage to come to tonight's meeting and to advocate on behalf of the transgender community here in Cleveland and beyond. Mr. Chairman, while I'm proud of the work that the city has done around legal protections, inclusive health care, inclusive HR policies, and beyond, we know that in order to distract from many of the heinous things that the right-wing movement is doing in this country, they pick certain groups to just pick on, to go after, to really just, in a disgusting way, go after communities in our country. Mr. Chairman, while the trans community is not, while they are well aware of the history of oppression, recently in the last few years, it has heated up tremendously, especially amongst the right-wing movement in this country, to target folks in the trans community. So while I'm proud of the city's record, I know there's so much more work to be done here in Cleveland and across the country. But I just really wanted to recognize Zoe for her courage in speaking out tonight. And as Councilwoman Spencer noted very eloquently, our responsibility collectively to speak out, especially for groups who have been historically marginalized, and the pathetic, sad, small nature of the right-wing movement targeting communities, members of our communities that have already faced many challenges in their lives. So I just wanted to appreciate Councilwoman Spencer's constituent Zoe for speaking out tonight and really being present here at our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please excuse the absences.
By Councilmember Starr, that the absence of council members Bishop, Moorer, and Santana are hereby excused, seconded by Councilmember Spencer.
Thank you. Council is adjourned to the next regular meeting on April 7, 2025.